I was training fighters.
Yeah, well, how long have you been out of that?
Well, I trained one fighter for it's called Gavin for the tournament in Phoenix, which was before the pandemic 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I did him, but after that, like a few years, like about 5-6 years, any serious fighters.
What, was it just a burnout for you, or you're just kind of like, I'm done? Or,
Yeah,
but I mean, you're still kind of teaching it.
Yeah, I'm teaching it. Yeah, and I got a lot of students, but for ones that want to compete, then no,
You're done with that.
Done with that, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
I see.
Where's your school at?
Pardon?
Where in San Francisco is your gym?
In Nob Hill.
Nob Hill.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to work at the Mark Hopkins.
Oh, you did, yeah? Oh.
Yeah. What a bunch of snobby people.
San Francisco got a bunch of snobs in there, right? You know what I mean? It's kind of like,
Well, I've lived in San Francisco all my life.
yeah.
So like I said, and I've been to every part of San Francisco.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I said, the stories between me and Beaver were like, okay.
Potrero Hill, all the.
Then when I worked up at the Hill, Nob Hill, I had to have a different thing, and then I was doing security for the hotel. So depending what area I was at, I was either an asshole or I was just
acting differently.
all
Really?
the time.
Because to me, it felt like you were just a different type of asshole at every single
There you
level.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That counts.
Well, that's the thing. You got to act there. You got to in certain situations. You got to be able to.
I worked at I used to work at the convention center, the Moscone.
Moscone, yeah.
When I first got out of high school.
Yeah.
And that was different security. Then you work at the Nob Hill where all the snotty rich people are, and you really had to be a different snotty.
Mellow, play the game.
But that was always the fun of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Because depending which block you cross, you're in a different town altogether.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Just a block.
Yeah, just a block. I mean, where me and Bibi lived, Mexico was just down the street, and then Africa up on the hill, and then depending where you were at,
Polynesian Islands on this side.
Over in Baby was Polynesian.
What you've seen is all the gentrification.
Oh,
San
yeah,
Francisco
that's
totally changed.
No, it's totally different. I mean, Hunters Point right now is being developed, and you have all these techies buying $2-3 million condos and slowly pushing people out.
Yeah.
They want to redevelop the whole shipping yard area.
Yeah.
But it's kind of toxic, so they don't talk about that part.
No.
But what was crazy, because I grew up in the Mission in San Francisco, right there on 18th and 19th of Mission Street itself.
Yeah.
And I went to school, the Mission High School.
Yeah.
And I remember even back then, I'm talking like 79.
Yeah.
It wasn't even called gentrification back then.
Yeah.
The people up in the Castro, all the LGBT groups out there.
Thank you.
They were starting to push people down.
Yeah.
And everybody was getting smothered and ending up in the Mexico side.
Yeah.
Where on the other side of Mission Street, which would have been Folsom.
Yeah.
All that side.
Yeah.
That's where everybody got squeezed into.
Yeah.
And even us, when we used to be on Mission, I ended up on Bryant,
Wow.
which is really
Yeah.
the heart of 20th and Bryant was all of Mexico.
Yeah.
So I saw that way back even before it
Before that,
became
yeah.
gentrification.
Yeah.
And that was just really weird to me. It's like, why every day I go, because all those people had the money,
Yeah.
and they're trying to beautify the area, so they hiked up the rent and all that,
Yeah.
and it was horrible. I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Why are they doing it? All because they could.
Yeah.
Well, it happens everywhere. I go back to England and there's places to go, and that was kind of like the rougher neighborhoods, and now it's all gentrified.
Yeah. Have you
People
gone
move down.
back?
Yeah, I go back pretty regularly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still have family over there?
I still got family over there.
Take me with you. I want to go. I wanna
It's fun over there.
Let's
Yeah.
see Birmingham.
Yeah.
Birmingham.
The
Take-
non-South Birmingham.
Take you guys to a soccer game. You have some fun.
Dude,
Oh, we'd get into a fight for sure.
let me ask you this, because
Yeah.
you brought it up again, and I was going to ask it earlier, but that soccer game.
Yeah.
What do you think about those three kids who, just because they missed a shot, that now all these
They
people...
go-
Oh, they want to kill him and deport him.
Exactly.
and-
That's how it is. I mean, they kind of like
I think that-
I mean, but they did the same thing to David Beckham.
Right,
You know,
back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day, David Beckham got sent off in a game. It was in the World Cup. They played Argentina, and they put hung a effigy of him outside his house.
Holy shit.
They always do that kind of stuff.
So,
yeah.
and I want to clarify this because we had this discussion.
Yeah.
It's not racial, is it?
It's partly racial and partly
Partly
soccer.
racial,
Yeah,
okay.
partly soccer.
Because I was going to say, David Beckham is as white as they come. And
Yeah.
They hung him up.
They hung him up. But they can't, when they lose like that, they got to blame.
They gotta blame somebody.
They blame
yeah.
one. They're going to blame the player.
And it happened to be the guy who missed the ball, so since you missed it, it was your fault.
It's your fault, yeah.
So you growing up in that, what's the drive? Why are people so committed, involved in
even more than
in a sport?
U.S. sports? Because I've seen.
Oh yeah, we're lazy Americans.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same in Mexico, though, right? With soccer, yeah. I think soccer gets a thing that American sports doesn't have. I mean, you could go to England, Germany,
no
Holland,
matter
anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
South America,
You see
Argentina,
stampedes in the
Brazil,
damn
and everything.
stadiums.
People have died.
People got a passion for soccer, and with the clubs, it's kind of just different. It's like
So much
you're part of the club kind of
Yeah.
thing, and they lose, and it's just a big thing.
Well, a big part of it too is that they have like junior leagues where you start from a kid and you're just driven up the way until you make it to like the big leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
So it's a lifelong thing.
I mean, the families take it to heart so
Well,
much.
even the big league clubs, they sign these kids now at ridiculous ages.
Yeah, really.
6 years old, 7 years old. Like the kid who missed the last penalty, that guy Saka, he'd been at Arsenal, he plays for Arsenal in London, a big club. They signed him when he was 7.
Oh,
And then the other guy, Jack Grealish, he plays for Aston Villa, a team from Birmingham, Sport, and they signed him up at 6 years old.
Oh.
And they developed them until they turned pros and stuff.
What's with the labor laws? I mean, is it child labor laws? What the hell is going on?
No,
that sounds like a cult.
They have them there. They train them. They, and they go in every day for training, and they develop them all the way through.
It's an investment.
Yeah. They just
That's
invest in the kids.
crazy. I've never heard of that.
Really, really young.
Dude, it's like taking a racehorse from the womb and just.
It's this thing. I'm sure in American sports they're going to do the same.
No, it's starting. It's starting because
sure.
the youngest basketball player just got signed. Remember? Was he like 16, 17?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's 6 years old.
6
But
years old, yeah.
but that's the direction it's going in. Is what he's saying. He's like, okay, all of a sudden these Pee Wee leagues, all right, that guy's he's going to be good. So we're going to sign him up already.
Because
How
now
do
you
you know
got
at age 6 though?
they can just they get
Because then you just build it up.
you look at a bunch of guys, kids that are that age, they're talented. If you get 10 of them in at age 6, and
Even if
two
you have one,
of them,
then
one or two of them make it, you've done well.
Quantity
right?
over quality.
Yeah.
And then you
Well,
build on it.
Yeah.
I
You
get
know,
it.
over time you develop that
And
quality.
I guess their family's like, yay, our kid got
That's the
big.
thing. Yeah.
Now they're living large.
Well, no, I mean, parents pay a lot of money to
Have somebody look at their
have their kids play soccer and baseball and stuff like it.
Right.
Yeah?
That's true,
So
yeah.
now the clubs are doing it with the kids. They go, instead of the parents, the clubs allow
Like,
the
oh,
kids
we'll
in
fund
there.
them.
So all they have to do is go around and look at all these training camps where they're training kids in like baseball and just pick out all the best ones, right? And then you bring them into the club, to the Giants, and you have them training there instead of playing for these local clubs.
Right.
You just get the best guys.
That's hilarious. I would have never thought that.
Oh, yeah,
What
that's
an
what they-
ingenious
that's what
way
they
to
do.
do that.
Yeah, but that also adds to why people are so committed to it. Because okay, my kid is 6 years old, being drafted by these big clubs. All of a sudden, now I'm really committed to everything that's going on.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So now you're really following the games and why it gets heated.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
That's a snowball effect. That's
That's how it
crazy.
is, yeah. It just gets total
depends.
commitment. Everybody's committed. The family, everybody's committed.
Wow, is that why you left England?
I was one of 6. I'm like, hey,
I didn't get picked, Mom. Get out. Leave the
there
country.
you go. There you go. There you go.
Sorry, Mom.
My life's over at 6 years old.
But that's just crazy.
I guess I'll be a hoodlum now.
I'll be one of the hooligans.
But even now, the clubs in England, I saw on Twitter a lot of the clubs in the different cities, like in Birmingham, they have it. For the summer, the clubs pay for free soccer camps.
Oh wow,
So they
okay.
pay for the summer. So your
Just
kid,
scout.
even if your kids, your parents haven't got any money.
That's
But here
true.
it's about money. There it's like, okay, all the kids got free camps all day. So the parents got babysit.
those-
You send them to the camps all day, and the teams can pick out which kids are going to be good.
Right.
So
And the
it's
ones
kinda
that
like,
don't got babysitting
And
for
they,
free.
yeah, and if
Wow.
they pay for it.
Yeah.
Talk
No,
about
that makes
creating
sense.
your own swimming pool for the best things that you're going to do.
Exactly,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. They invest over
Yeah.
here just to...
Yeah.
But
It's
it
kinda-
helps. I mean,
That's
my-
amazing.
my-
I would have
both
never
my
thought of
parents
that, but
worked.
that's genius.
It is genius, yeah.
You know, I mean, you're going to get the very best of the cream of the crop every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And then once you see something that might have some talent,
Yeah.
you can start building on them right away instead of waiting till they're, like in the U.S. it'd be 18,
Yeah.
you know. But now it's going down a problem.
Yeah. But it's kind of in soccer over there. They don't want. That's I think Wayne Rooney. I think he started playing professional when he was 15.
Okay. Whoa.
15 and
15
professional.
is professional. Yeah, I think European countries there's kind of like if you're good enough at 15. they'll put
Well, you
in.
start drinking at 16, you're a man at that point.
Yeah.
What's 15?
Yeah.
What's 15?
That's, that just surprises me.
Yeah.
I mean, ethically and morally, there's something wrong with that.
You think so?
No, I don't
Sure.
think so. Why?
Really?
Why?
It's a sport.
All right, so
I think people are getting too cuddled now, you know?
well, it's no. Let me state my case.
There you
All
go.
right, 6 years
You're
old.
wrong.
We're in court, okay.
6 years old.
Yeah.
This kid hasn't even been playing in the play yard and
Yeah.
having a little childhood thing, the whole bit.
Yeah,
But he
I
gets
see what
picked
you're
up at 6 years old.
yeah.
Now he's told how he's going to be from here on. Do they even get to play games and go to the park and, I mean, is it?
Yeah, they still get to play around. It's just like an after-school program. You're going to go at 6 years old and play for 2 hours. It's a game that you love. I don't see how that's a negative.
Well, and that's and again, we didn't hear that because like even in China when they teach.
Well, that's a
these
whole
little
different though.
Well, yeah, but almost the same thing. Like Jackie Chan, he had to endure. He wrote a story, and his story is sad because he was like, I hated it because from the very early age I got thrown into this place.
Yeah.
I was adopted by them, even though I still had parents.
Yeah.
They sent me to this place, and from then on.
Acting
Yeah.
I didn't have my own life. I was day in, day out.
forced to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's abuse.
Yao Yan fighters.
If you're forced to do 24 hours, it's
Right?
Oh.
The Yao Yan fighters.
Yeah.
How old were they? 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
And they had to stay in a camp
yeah,
In a farm.
in a farm and do the farm work.
yeah.
And
This
train.
is- that's how come that when I hear
Yeah.
it that way is that's what's going because even that was crazy.
That's crazy though. That's full on kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, once I was in Vegas and there was some fights on, and I went there to help Mastad. He was training some fighters for his fights, and he was filming it. And he was going back to the film was going back to Thailand and everything.
Yeah.
And there's one Japanese fighter that was on it. This guy Kato, and I was rooming with him. So I didn't know the guy. We just met him and I was rooming with him. He was training. So.
It's like, hey, we're not going to kill each other.
So we're talking to him, really nice guy. Spoke broken English, but he was really cool and good fighter. He trained really hard. So fall asleep at night, fell asleep, and then something about 4 o'clock in the morning, he gets up and I hear the screaming, and he's doing kata, doing kiaing and everything, real loud, at like 4 in the morning, and he's doing it. I'm like there, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't know this kid. He's
Right,
doing
right.
this thing. We're in this room, and he's doing this full, and I was like, wow, he's crazy or what? And he does it for like about 20 minutes, and then he went back to sleep and slept. And I was just like, wow. Woke up, and he was sleepwalking, was the thing.
Oh.
And then when I went back to the gym, all the guys in the gym, they started laughing at me because they knew he did it. I'm like, really
That's why they give him to you.
Yeah.
They're like, give him to you, kid.
but the thing was, the story was, going back to the point we're talking about, in Japan, when they trained him, they got him up in the morning and they took him to the beach and they did kata in the morning at 4 in the morning.
So he's just stuck.
He just stuck in there, Now he was
So even in his sleep he
was
did
in
it.
his 20s, and he went back from when he was a kid, and they forced that on him. They, woke him up. They were still half asleep, and they did their kata, and he's still doing it in his 20s. Like,
Wow. See, but that's exactly my point. When
Yeah,
you see a
yeah.
kid,
Yeah.
then what does that do to them? Like I said, psychologically.
Psychologically, yeah.
You're thinking, holy crap! If this is what happens when he does. What happens when that kid goes there for 10 years, let's say, and then doesn't make the team?
Yeah.
But that's all he's ever known. Now he has
No,
no
but
money.
they make sure they have schooling and everything. They're not. They
Good.
don't.
Well,
they don't
and that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
point. That because the
Yeah.
other people that we hear about,
Yeah.
they don't have.
So
that.
is that the line that you say? Because like you mentioned that, there's a lot of coddling going on nowadays.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the other extreme where they're forced to,
Yeah.
conform to this and do it all the time. So where's that balance?
I don't know. I think the earlier that a kid becomes a man, it's probably better.
Yeah.
I think once you hit your teens, you've got to realize, okay, like you're 15, 16, you'll be man. I mean, now kids are in their house right till they're 30. They don't want to move
Till
out.
30,
yeah.
yeah.
They're like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's kind of,
That makes sense.
and they've got no ambition to be like a man.
Right.
If you,
Because as long as I can stay home, I don't have to pay rent, blah blah blah.
My
No,
mom's
I
cooking.
think if you got
best.
the ethic and the independence at an earlier age, I think
Right.
I think it's better for you. I mean, but it's a double-edged sword, right? It
Oh, yeah.
can go one way wrong, and
Yeah,
Well,
they
you
get
know-
pushed in that direction. All of a sudden, you're like, well, what happened to you?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, growing up, I get your point on that because I remember when I was growing up, I have a huge family, 11 of us. So my mom and dad really couldn't take care of each one of us the same way.
Yeah.
We had the older kids would take care of the little kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And sometimes, but back in the 70s, it was
Yeah.
okay to walk around town and late at night. You weren't gonna, it wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the streets. I mean, I learned stuff from people total strangers who I got to become friends with in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
And
the
they
old
taught me
guys
a lot
on
of
the
stuff.
stoops.
Yeah. You know, luckily everybody was cool. They didn't try to do anything crazy with me.
Yeah.
But
That you'll talk about.
You're right, though. I had to grow up
Grow up quicker,
as a little kid.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel bad for some of these kids who don't get to grow up as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, who had to become, like I said, I became an adult. I mean, I was talking about
Yeah.
art, music, you know, classical music by the time I was like 12 or 13.
Which is good.
Yeah.
You know, you're more.
I'm
Well-rounded.
glad I did all that,
Right.
but I look I sometimes I look back as regretful, saying that, you know, I didn't get to play with G.I. Joe and all these other things.
Yeah, but it was kind of like it's
Well,
always
like you said,
grass is
always
greener.
too, yeah. You could play with G.I. Joe and go, I wish I knew about art and, you know, classical music and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the more like influences you get in life.
Oh no, I
The more
like that.
traveled,
I mean,
the
look
more
at how I
well-rounded
am
you
now.
are.
I'm
Yeah.
a weird psychopathic. Yeah.
Sociopathic. Sociopathic.
kind of thing,
No,
yeah.
but like you said, it's the reverse. Like he was just mentioning, because I had a similar childhood. I had to be responsible at a very early age for my younger siblings. I'm like, I'm 8, I'm 9. I was like, okay, why am I being responsible for people that are not much younger than me? But now with my daughters, I tell them, look, be your age, enjoy being a kid. And me and my 11-year-old just every once in a while have philosophical conversations about the meaning of things, why things happen.
And she's a lot smarter than him.
She is.
So.
Yeah. I've got
And-
daughter right now. It's kind
And
of
I'm like, you know how that happened? I'm constantly reminding you, be your age, be your age. But here we are having conversations as equals, maybe because I'm just that immature or she's that mature.
Yeah.
But the reverse always seems to happen of what you try to accomplish.
Well, I think what happened is like I think like our generation, we grew up hard, right? So it's kind of so you have kids and you don't want anything to be hard for them. You want it to be too easy,
Right.
And I think people just go too far in making it too easy. So these kids don't experience a lot of things that they should experience, and I think
I
it's
agree.
finding the balance has always been.
I hate
a hard thing.
timeouts.
Yeah,
I gotta put you on timeout.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
yeah,
My dad, you know, come here.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
dumbass.
oh yeah.
You know, but now, like you said, there is a lot of coddling, and I'm like you. I hate that. I hate the fact that you're going to take something away from me to punish me. That I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
which
But you
means I'm
grew
not
up
getting
playing the
hurt. That's
stick.
cool.
Yeah.
And usually you feel bad, so you give it back after an hour. So really, what did you do?
Yeah, the kind of thing.
What
Well,
is
you're
it?
the same as me. It's taking something away. You know, if they want their phone, that's gone, and that's
See,
my
that
parity.
really does hurt them because that's
It
a
does, yeah.
drug. That they have
And
withdrawals,
depending,
shakes.
but to be put on the corner, and you're just doing this, waiting.
Time
For,
out,
okay,
yeah,
cool. Now
yeah,
I can go.
yeah.
No, that didn't work for
Time
me.
out is kinda
My oldest, she started drawing shapes on like with her finger, like, oh, this is a tiger, this is a bunny. I was like, this is not doing anything for
No,
you.
it's not.
You're entertaining yourself in that corner. Like, what the?
I saw a meme recently that said between the timeout generation and the whoop-ass generation, it's obviously who came out better.
Oh, okay. It's crazy. But you see in the news how these kids of that generation who didn't get the punishment stuff that we used to get have become such assholes.
Yeah.
You know, they've become these little bastards who can do no wrong because mom's never going to do anything bad to me, and I'll get away with whatever I want because all I got to do is sit in a room for an hour or whatever.
Yeah, like the children of baby boomers, they piss me off because they'll walk through somebody and not even say excuse me. Here I have my 11 and my 7-year-old. Everywhere they go, excuse me. If I don't hear it said, I'll be like, hey, did you excuse yourself before you pass in front of somebody? If I'm passing in front of somebody, excuse us, and we walk through. But I see these adults, adult age, who are my age or a little older, and they just walk by, and my kid's standing there, and she's like, oh, you know, good thing I moved to the side, even though I didn't see the person coming, they didn't bump into me. And I'm like, that's because I'm constantly reminding you while this asshole just walked by and didn't even say excuse me to a child. Like, how do you expect other children, how do you expect your children to learn from that?
Crazy. Yeah, no matters. It's funny though, if you go to like so-called rough neighborhood, bad neighborhood, people are respectful. You hold the door open for them, they thank you, everything.
Yes.
They bump
Isn't
into you,
that
sorry,
weird?
my bad.
Isn't that
the more
weird?
affluent the neighborhood you go into, the ruder they are.
Because you get an ass whooping if you're rude.
There's consequence of being rude,
You know, and it's that entitlement of like, oh, well, why do I have to be, you know, you should hold that door open for me. You're supposed to do those things for you. Well, you're also supposed to be polite and kind, and you're not doing it, so why the hell am I supposed to do it to you?
Yeah, it's good.
You know, you're absolutely right. Like you said, you know, the rowdier or the weirder the neighborhood is, the people are much more passive and they're kind and they're, you know. you kind of wonder why is that? You know, because is it really the upbringing of the adults who are there who said, you know, we've had a hard life, and I don't want anything to mess you up. So if a cop comes by, you say, sir, ma'am, and you know, or any of those things, and this is the product of that.
Yeah.
You realize that all of our stuff that we have can be taken away.
Yeah.
Be polite, goddammit.
Yeah,
you know?
usually because this tone kind of stands out.
Exactly. And in those neighborhoods, a lot of the, like he's saying, the brown tones are in those neighborhoods. And that's why I've become very polite, because when I was young, my dad was military. You can't get away from it.
No, my
when
dad
I
was
was a
old
kid,
school.
a kid for being rude, consequence for it, because you get smacked, right? When I was a kid, you got, you know, what, you didn't say hello, good morning, what,
Excuse
you know?
Yeah.
Bang, you know? You don't forget them once you get smacked.
That's why the back of his head is flat.
My brother, we were talking about, you know, my brother who is my instructor, the guy who created our system. When we were kids, you know, when you're kids, you don't realize anything, right? And we were talking about McGregor, you know, the adrenaline and all that, right? So we were walking down a hill, and I had this dartboard, and I was holding it up like this. And my brother had a bright idea, since he had the darts in his hand, to try to hit the fucking. We're going downhill, so you know, this time it stuck me here. And you don't realize it until, oh shit, Rick, I got a dart in your neck. I'm like, what? Huh? I'm like, the moment you know, you're screaming like crazy, right? It was just a weird thing that you
That's growing up those days. I know. I had brothers as well, same as you know. I come from a big family, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many siblings altogether?
8.
8?
Yeah, 8.
Wow.
You know, saying in our house was first up, best dressed.
You
know that's about.
Yeah.
You got to first grab all the good clothes. That's when you were a kid.
You want to talk of hand-me-downs? Hell, I have 8 sisters.
Oh,
and I'm the youngest boy.
Yeah.
So you know what I was wearing.
Hey, good thing you live in San Francisco.
It works out, yeah.
And that's why I said, like I said, I'm showing my feminine side. See, it's my sisters. It's funny too, because I remember my wife, right, when we were first going out, and she wanted to take her. She had bought some pants that were too long for her. He goes, oh, I got to take this to the altar and have them sew it up. He goes, I'll do it. And I'm, she goes, where'd you learn that? He goes, oh, from the sisters. She goes, what else can you do? And then she marries me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And now you do none of it.
Yeah,
Now I do none of it. I let her do the